Hey everybody, my name is Jonathan Tripp. Welcome to another episode of Talk Social News. I think this is actually episode 35. Today we're going to be talking about keys to customer service. Some of you either are a customer or you have customers, so I don't really see there's a reason for you not to be here today and to listen to this. So guys, I'm excited about this because I think there's some real big problems that we have just in dealing with customer service on both ends. What do we expect from businesses, and what as businesses do we expect from our customers, and how can we find and meet and find and have that win-win-win situation? But I'm going to put a little bit of a twist on it for you guys. But I'm going to come at this today and talk to you guys about basically from a business perspective, what should we be doing for customer service. But guys, in the meantime, we are going to be talking about some of the social media news, what's going on, some of the things that are happening in Snapchat and Facebook, and a few other things. So I really hope you guys are able to be here today and really, just take a minute of your time. Would you I'm going to be back in 30 seconds. Would you guys just share this out really fast? And let's get to this. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for being a part of the broadcast today. There is actually a lot going on in the news, and especially since even like the last week or two, we've seen a big change in a lot of the way that video is being delivered, the way that people are consuming it, where and how they're consuming it. And I don't mean necessarily technologically, all of a sudden we've come out with something brand new, but guess what? We're becoming so familiar with technology that we're getting right into it. And today I want to talk about that, and then we'll get into the customer service aspect of our show today. But first, guys, I want to say thank you. If you guys are watching us live on Periscope, I really appreciate it. It's good to see you. Or if you're watching us live on Facebook, and I do actually see a number of you guys over there. I see Melissa Reyes, I see Anna, I see Michael, I see Cheryl and Jason. You guys are awesome. Guys, make sure you also stick around because this really is basically a half-hour show. Please, guys, make sure you guys stick around because in the after chat, that's where we also have some fun there too. I'm just gonna put that out there. Big shout out, thank you to our partners that just make the show happen. I'm thinking of Wirecast. I think of Switchboard Live. Archon Mounts is also helps out with the show. And guys, I got to really say that that without a lot of the technologies, it's really hard to be able to do a show. But last but not least, big shout out and thank you to VitMug, which actually produces the show on a weekly basis. They do not provide the coffee, but they do provide the technology to be able to put your show concept into live and on multiple channels. So with that, guys, how about this? Let's kind of hop right into it. It is good to see you guys out there, and you guys can chat it up and share it out. Yeah, really, don't be afraid. It's okay. And believe it or not, I just found this out last week. Sharing on social media is actually free. It doesn't cost you anything. So I would really appreciate it if you guys did that today. All right, so guys, there's been a lot of things that have been happening, both video-wise and others. One of the ones that I think is actually really interesting that's been going on. How many of you guys know about Facebook Watch? Not everybody has it. If you don't, usually they put it over on the left side of your screen so that it catches your eye, and it's right below your profile, your news feed. And right below that, usually you're going to see this little picture. It's like a Facebook outline of a TV, and that is Facebook Watch. That's the new outlet for that they're trying to come up with a bunch of new well-produced content and things like that. And I think it's actually very interesting how that's become what they're trying to push. This higher grade, higher produced, better quality video production. And this week we also saw that Facebook's changing the game, and they're upping the video quality that's able to be broadcast out to the pages. Normally we're used to at 720, and they're gonna start upping the ante. They're actually gonna start making a better version of what is going on. Hey, Ed Fratz, it's good to see you today for joining us. I appreciate it. So having said that, with Facebook Watch out there, we're seeing this a big push from Facebook. The only problem I have with Facebook Watch, I thought this was supposed to be new content. I thought this was supposed to be brand new content just made for this. And what I'm seeing in a couple of places that this is actually old content. This is content that's been made a while ago that's being put up. And I don't mean just in the entertainment sector. I'm going to put it out there and say within that business and marketing place, you guys start uploading some real new content that's not something that I can find maybe on YouTube somewhere else, that I can't find that you've already put out on in one of your, maybe on one of your Vimeo, right? Guys, there's tons out there where people are putting their content, and Facebook is not just exclusive. And I'm gonna really challenge you, those who are producing that, but be on a watch out for that. How many of you guys also know that Facebook is testing, they're putting out this idea of you being able to buy content very much like Amazon, and that's just a place that you can buy tickets and things like this. And that's a very interesting concept, because that takes what has been done, which is just pre-recorded free content, and now they're putting the paid aspect on it, almost like your Blockbuster, right? Oh, can I say that? Yeah, it's like Blockbuster. I don't want to say Netflix, because I don't know. Netflix is Netflix, and we want it to be its own thing. But Facebook seems to be taking the idea of paid content, and now they're sticking it in your news feed too. So honestly, good job for you guys if you're going to be doing that. The other part is that Facebook is doing, the reason why I'm putting all the Facebook things, because they're doing a lot, and they've been rolling it out over the last couple of weeks or so, that makes video actually a lot easier to use on the one app. Facebook is testing a preloaded instant video. Now, this isn't going to come out to everybody. They're just testing this idea. And what it is that instead of just eating up on all your data minutes and all your planned minutes on just on the content, because they want you to watch more videos and stuff like this, they're actually going to preload some of these videos, so you get a taste of it, and you're able to watch the video when you're after you're on Wi-Fi. And I think it's a really interesting concept, and they've been doing this same type of feature but with cached news feeds for those that are in limited or no mobile service areas and there's no Wi-Fi. We're thinking remote remote places, or places that are just they just don't have a lot of that coverage. And this goes for around the world, especially outside the US. And I think it was a really interesting and it was a good innovative way of delivering the content on the platform, including ads, by the way, to the viewer. And so what we see here really is that that Facebook is actually putting together a big push for a lot of their video marketing, and they're delivering not just the concept and idea, but also the technology for it. All right, so we do see this in, from dedicated movie sections to Facebook Watch, some of these testing on these instant videos and things like this. Now, kind of getting maybe a little bit away from from Facebook is the Instagram. How many of you guys have seen that Instagram now? How many of you guys maybe have actually seen that Instagram may be pushing out this idea of pushing the stories from Instagram directly to Facebook? Because we've always kind of seen this coming. In some ways, we've kind of hoped that this would happen, right? Well, why can't the two platforms talk to each other? We already saw it with Messenger Day and Facebook Messenger app and memories and store, and it kind of gets ridiculous after a while, right? They're all the same thing, owned by the same company. Why can't they talk? Well, this is actually what we're seeing now, is that's what's going to start happening. And I know they're testing this out. I think they want to see people's reactions to it. And in the long run, so let's just see. Are users really going to be able to share their stories directly to Facebook? And if so, does that increase or maybe decrease the way that you're going to watch stories or watch other people's content? And I would actually like to see that maybe you're going to use stories not as just a storytelling feature, but maybe as an update feature, maybe as to that first person, and not just simply a storytelling mechanism. Because honestly, not everybody tells a good story, and that's okay. Not everybody has to do the same thing. But I do want to see original content. I do want to see it personalized. I do want to see that that the content that we view there is going to be good enough quality that it's going to keep my interest, because there is a lot of content out there. Let's face it. So how many of you guys, and I'd just love to see this in the comments, how many of you guys use Instagram, Facebook, or Messenger, Facebook Messenger stories? I'd actually really like to hear that. I'd like to actually be able to kind of, and if you guys do, just put a yes, or like, yeah, Instagram yes or something. I'd really like to be able to connect and just see how you guys are making stories, because not everybody does. In other news now, how many of you guys know about Patreon? You guys have heard of it. I've used it, and it's still a great way to support artists and things like this. Well, Patreon just raised about, what is it, $450 million dollars to pay their artists. And I think this is a really great way, because this platform has been around. It's gone through a number of different iterations and focus. But what we're seeing now is that what Patreon wants to do is take about a 5% cut, which is, I think, that's actually a very reasonable amount. And with about 50,000 creators and about 1 million subscribers, guys, I think this is a plan that really could work to provide just a little bit, and especially since we're seeing the closure of Busker and other paid platforms that are paying their artists and content creators. This may be actually an opportunity for Patreon to kind of move into that space. And who knows? Wouldn't it be interesting if Patreon actually integrated fully with a live video? Say in a mobile app, or in some type of a function that allowed the artist to perform live within the Patreon space. And I think that in and of itself would actually be a big game changer. We talk about other game changers and things like this, guys. iPhone X came out. Some of you guys are really excited about it. Others are completely disappointed. And even more of you guys actually just really don't care. It's the iPhone X, but it's X like a Roman numeral X. So it's actually iPhone 10, but it's an X, and it's got screen overlays. And you know what? I'm going to share one of the best, describer, just to show all the features of it. And maybe after a little bit, you'll kind of get it because of how ridiculous sometimes they market it. And again, I think it's funny. We saw this with the last, the iPhone launch, where they said, we're going to be innovative because the headphone jack has been taken out, because we're going to step away from what everybody wants and everybody sees as probably being some of the most useful things out there. Well, guess what? iPhone did it again, guys. They were innovative yet again, because that feature, the home button on your phone that you use all of the time. Well, we don't need that anymore. Okay, we're actually gonna move beyond that, because we're so innovative. We're just gonna skip the home button, one of the most used features on the phone, after the headphone jack. So I actually think that by taking the headphone jack, they've actually elevated the importance of the home button, so that they can take it away, and it makes it look like this is true technology and innovation. I really can't see what they're going to take away next, because after this, I think, I think we're going to go with screenless mobile cell phones, and I think that's going to be a great. So the iPhone 11 is actually it's just going to be a battery in your hand, and there's going to be no screen, because it's going to go from here straight into here, and then it's going to be the best connector ever. And talk about virtual reality, augmented reality. iPhone 11, guys, I just called it. That's what's going to happen. All right, guys. So with that, I'm just gonna say I'm gonna call it quits on the Talk Social news. Let's move on to something maybe that's a little bit more of maybe the reason why you got here, guys. I really do want to talk about. I want to talk about our business. Give you guys some practical about five different points today. But it's just where I really do want to talk about this. Okay, keys to better customer service. Many of you guys deal with businesses as a customer all the time, every day, whether you're buying, returning, maybe you have a product interest. As a business, maybe you want to test a feature out, or maybe you have a question about it. And I got to say this. Now, I've been on both sides of this. I've been on the customer service side trying to explain a product, or trying to work out maybe a misunderstanding or a difficulty or expectation difference between sales and marketing and the actual delivery of the product. Guys, because it's out there, it is really important. So where do we land? And today I want to talk to business owners. If you have a business, or if you're in that position in your business that you have to deal with customers in a de-escalating sense, or providing better knowledge, or trying to work out just a very genuine misunderstanding, guys, there's a lot to be said. And so here it is. Oh, by the way, I also forgot mugshot today. I knew there was something here. So this is the mugshot. There we go. All right, guys, so the first thing that I'm going to say, you got to do this. How many of you guys feel this way? As a business, as somebody providing this support for the customer, you have to listen to the customer. If you go into a conversation just all already understanding or already believing you know exactly what they need, then you're wrong. If that's the attitude you come into it, you're already wrong. You've already missed out on something I think that's really significant, because oftentimes we find that the customer is bringing a unique situation because it's not dealt with in your FAQs. It's not dealt with and talked about in the product literature. Okay, it's not clear. And I know I'm kind of blanket statement here, but for the vast majority, if you can't hit the low-hanging fruit in your business as far as like answering those questions, maybe doing some tutorial videos and things like this, if you're not there and you're not answering those questions, by the time the customer contacts you, they're probably just a little bit more elevated on their concerns. They now want a little bit more from you than what an FAQ or a tutorial video. So be there, ready to listen, because that kind of content doesn't listen to them. And maybe that middle ground is that you have to develop maybe a chatbot to help. Maybe that's the next technology that's going to help you do your job better as a customer service, integrate with other technologies, okay? So the first thing I'm going to say to you guys right off the bat is listen to your customer, okay? The next one, because that's one side of the coin, the other side of the coin is have a plan. I cannot stress how important it is to have a plan. If you go into a customer service call or a customer service encounter, whether maybe it is face-to-face, maybe it is one of those situations with a customer and you have a brick and mortar store and the customer comes in and says, hey, I have a question, I have a problem, I have an issue. But guys, if you just do whatever, the old things that you always do, and you don't have a plan, you are going to be lost. Your customer service reps or your employees or a business or a manager or whoever it is that's in that situation trying to work with the customer, if you don't have a plan already in place, you are going to be lost because you're going to be grasping at straws and you don't have a clear way of knowing exactly what you're trying to accomplish other than just making the problem go away. And guys, that is not a plan. Okay. So this is what I'm going to say, guys. Have a plan. Work out a couple of strategies. Work out some policies that you know that to protect your business. This is the way that you're going to be. This is the words that you're going to use, or this is the end goal that you're going to go to. Okay. And it's okay to build into your plan the ability to listen to your customer. So this is not we have a roadmap and this is the only way. You need to build in for the contingency plans for your business. Okay. Now, this is the next step, and this is going to be crucial. And some of you guys have experienced this, and if you guys have experienced this next point, right away, I just want you to put yes in the comments, because when I was going through this and I'm like, you know what is that? What's that thing that I wish that more customer service reps would do, more customer experiences? I wish that they would actually know what their products are and what they do. Guys, know your products. If you do not know what your products are, you are alienating your customer. It makes you look uninformed and unintelligent about your product. And that's not always the case. Okay, sometimes I'm going to tell you right now, not every customer service is going to know every single detail and facet of every single program or service or working out of is that's just not going to happen. And I honestly, I really don't think that most customers are going to expect that. But what they do expect is that you will be able to get them an answer. And the answer may be, hold on, I'm not the right person for this, but guess what? I have this experienced technician. Or guess what? I'm not the right person for this. We have an entire department dedicated to helping you solve that problem or answering that question. And if you don't have that already built into your plan because you weren't listening to your customer, by the time you get to trying to actually answer the question and knowledge about the product, you've already lost them. And guess what? Now you're digging a deeper hole to try to help yourself out. So guys, do yourself a favor and know your product. At least become familiar with it and what you do and what you don't know. Okay, there's plenty of things, there's plenty of features out there that nobody's ever going to use, and you don't necessarily need to have all the detailed answers, but you need to know how to get there. Now, another aspect of this, and guys, I love the comments. I love what you guys are putting out there, both on Periscope and on Facebook and things like this. One of the next things I really want to talk about, it is the attitude. Okay, it's the attitude that customer service reps need to come into the conversation with, because the conversation, while it is your job is to protect the company, because without it, guess what? You have no business and you're not going to have a product and you're pretty soon not going to have a job. We understand that. That is a given. But when we're interacting with a customer, when we're listening and engaging and having a conversation and participating with our customers, not just delivering a script, not just getting through you trying to get through just the quick checklist and who cares about how the customer, what the customer experience is. But guys, there's one facet that we need to be working on with every customer interaction, irregardless of how irritating, how rude, how difficult these customers are. We are always trying to get to this, get to yes. And you guys may have actually read that book. There is a book out there, it's Get to Yes. If you're really interested, message me, let me know. I'll give you a link for it, or I'll share the title and the author and all that kind of stuff, right? But get to yes. Get your audience to the point that when they are listening to what you're having to say and trying to help them solve it, help them get to yes. Okay? Because the more yeses that you can say, the more agreeable they are. And it's not just a mind trick, but if you can say, would you like this? And they say yes, well, guess what? Now you're on the path to resolution. You're there helping them solve their problems, right? So I think that making get to yes is a really important aspect of all this. But guess what? None of that will happen unless you do this. You allow your employees or your reps to make decisions. Okay? So you can have the best plan in the world, and some unique situation comes in through an email or in through one of the social channels. And they just, look, you don't have a script for that. Your employee is going to be out. What if you call in and you're listening as your supervisor, and your employee has an irate customer on the line because something didn't work right when it should, and they paid for the service, and now what are you going to do? Allow that rep to make a decision that will help the customer. Allow them, put them in that place. And people, they'll say, I'm saying allowing. Some people say empower them, position them. Guys, this is all the same thing. Help them, okay? Help your employees be decisive. Put them in a place where they're allowed to do that. And I'm going to tell you from experience, you might actually need to allow your employees to be in there and just maybe make a little bit of a mistake. Allow them, give them that freedom if they make a mistake, that it's not the end of the world. And obviously you don't do that with the biggest, maybe set dollar limits or product limits or time limits or something like that. Put some limits on until you can develop that skill within that representative of your company with your customers. Allow them to build out, and it's super important. So do that. Allow your employees to make decisions. And the last one is this. And how many of you guys are very guilty of this? I'm going to tell you right now, I have failed at this again and again and again, because learning from every contact is important. It doesn't matter if that contact is an email, if it's a tweet, if it's a phone call, if it's an actual letter, maybe even this. How dare they? They actually show up to your business and talk to you face to face. What would that do, right? Learn from every interaction that you have. Was it good? Was it bad? Was there a way to get to the yes part faster? Okay? Because there's lots of different dynamics of this. There's lots of different reactions to how customers are. And if you train your employees not to react, but to be proactive in this, they're going to be learning from that interaction that, look, when they get upset and when they get out of control, when maybe they get stubborn, they become unwilling to listen, and it decreases and it devalues that customer's opinion, that customer is going to leave, and pretty soon that customer is going to start talking about it, and they're going to start shedding a lot of the other parts. Okay, so really, I think in closing here, this is what we need to do. This is what we need to make sure that from our business, that what we are doing is we're putting our customer in a place that we're able to help them solve the problem, because we want to empower the customer to be able to use our products and services in a way that will benefit their business, okay, benefit their lives, solve their problems. And I think the in-turn result will be that your business does better, your customers will love you, and they will actually become lifetime customers, not just a one-time customer or a customer out of desperation and regret. So guys, I really want to encourage you guys, take those. If that's something you're interested in, you want to talk with me further, you can reach out to me. You can message me here, right wherever you're finding. Just say, hey John, I'd love to talk with you. Try to tag me if you can. That'd be kind of fun. I love getting tags. I love seeing this. Well, actually, most of the time I love getting tags. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. If you guys haven't already, if you're watching this, so you made it this far in the replay, or if you're watching this live, guys, thank you so much. I really hope you're a part of Live Talk Nation. You can go over to livetalknation.com, and that will put you into our Facebook group. It's free, and it's a really great resource that you're able to connect with other people in the industry, in live streaming. Maybe they have a different business, but they may be using it. This is this is not a super big community because we keep tight and we love to talk to each other and network. And I've actually seen a lot of you guys lately producing your shows or making some great content out there, guys. I really appreciate it. I love to see that stuff. All right, so with that, guys, I think we are about at that point where I need to say thank you, guys. But don't forget, and if somebody's here and I'm going to try to do this really quick, but I think it's fblive.davidvaughn.com. That's the after chat. I just invite you. I'm going to broadcast it out here pretty shortly. It'll probably show back up in the Facebook group or maybe on your timeline or something like this. But we always seem to have a good time afterwards. But with that, guys, I hope you have a really awesome week. I really can't wait to see what you guys are going to start producing and what you guys are doing. But with that, I got to say thank you. Have a great week, guys. Take care.